Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Tim's Trades. I just want to discuss a couple of different ideas in this video, as well as look at a wee bit of kind of short term and possibly longer term Bitcoin action. Thinking about how the market's been going the last maybe even couple of years. Let's go on Bitcoin on the index and drop it on the weekly. It's kind of evident, and this isn't an original idea. I think a lot of people are coming up with this, that we're going to get consolidation followed by aggressive upside, followed by consolidation, followed by aggressive upside. And if that's the case, then we need to be, I would say, if you're into crypto, kind of psychologically prepared. Get the moon boy ideas out your head potentially, and just accept what's in front of you. And and I'm saying that a range here. I think a range here is one of the obvious probabilities, just based on how price action's been. But also there's also a couple of setups that are present which could bring the price down a good bit deeper. Now, not that it would change the fact that there's a bull market coming on, hence the reason I've come on the index here, just to kind of drop in kind of obvious areas of key support which we've not tested. Not that we have to, but even if price did come back down here, you're still in a very obvious uptrend. So the idea perhaps that we range here is just based on previous price history on that cycle, and we could have a big range like that which takes us all the way into maybe late spring, early summer. I was thinking around about May, and only because of this consolidation here, and it's quite a big range. You've got 109, 110 to the upside, right down to kind of 89 to the bottom side. And until this breaks, then you have to accept that we're going to be in a range. One of the kind of things that inspired me to do this was basically the fact that, if I'm sure most of you, anyone that watches my channel will know, it's all just trading, but this here is USDT dominance. This is the long everlasting trend line, which never broke, and every time it hit here gave us a top or a major top. We got through that, and so it gave everyone the idea that we're going down, but now we're threatening to basically get back into that. And I was mucking around with just some ideas the other day. If this line here breaks back to the upside on a daily close, you can see that the big flush we got the other day whipped through, but we didn't close a daily back above this trend line, but it is threatening to do that, and there's no kind of doubt about it. So we need to be prepared for that. And the next area I would suggest that it's going to get stopped is probably up here, and so that's why I have a green line here. I wonder if I've got this on another chart actually. No, that's my BTC dominance. Let's just stick to this. Anyway, rather than me going through the whole rigmarole, basically, if USDT dominance gets back here and we look at the date, the last time Bitcoin was there, it was in October. That puts the Bitcoin price around about 70 odd K, I think, from memory. So just to say, if we go back to October, so we're looking at prices back down here again, roughly, more or less, and it is going to be a breakdown. So we have to kind of just be aware that setup's on the horizon. Where did I just put that chart? Because I want to also show you the reason I'm feeling like that can break that trend line is that on a number of on some of the kind of higher term time frames. Now I'm talking about a 3-day, 5-day, etc. There are setups which are bullish. So here's my harmonics indicator here, and it's telling me fresh long, double bottom pattern here, and it's telling me long. It's telling me I've got two targets. One is at 4.74, the other's at 5.13, and that is exactly this target here. So this is a setup, it's present. Obviously we don't have a daily close above there yet, but it's a potential, so we need to be kind of aware of that. Now, anyone who has watched me before knows I'm a student Eric Crown, and Eric Crown's setups, which typically are very powerful, are stochastic vs volatility. And on a 5-day setup, this is a very powerful setup. We have got pretty much expansion confirmed on the 5-day, and the stochastic's facing up. So you're looking potentially at USDT dominance here grinding its way out of here and actually going pretty high here, at least I would suggest to there. So that's in the background. Be aware of it. Be aware that prices might break down from here, and just be ready for that. As a trader, I don't really care. It's just another trade. If price goes down, I'll just go short. I just have to have the kind of confirmation that prices are going to break down. And that is on the horizon, whether you like it or not, whether the macro is bullish or not. You have to go with what you can see, and in essence, that's what I can see at the moment. Now, zooming in a wee bit, this is, you can see, a very messy chart. This is my mad TA with fibs. Let me clean this up and I'll go through a few things with you that kind of align a little bit more. Certainly in the short term with a bit more downside. Holy fuck, I could be there for days. Let me see if I can find a better one, which is already a bit cleaner. And start again. Come on, slow computer. Okay, here's one. Right, let's just jump on this. I'm on Bybit here. Let's remove harmonics for the time being. And get rid of this daft wee channel. Okay, so I have observed, and you'll know by if you've watched any of my previous videos, that I use the fibs and I use fib extensions a lot, and for good reason. And you'll see in previous videos that I've said that if you run an extension from the first two legs of any major high or major low, inevitably you hit the 1.618 or the 1-to-1. More oftentimes the 1.618, and you'll see here if I run an extension which is measured. Now let me draw a line so you get an understanding of what I'm talking about when I talk about the first two legs. So we got a top here, price broke down and then formed the higher low here. So this is the measurement. It's there to there, and you will see that the very recent dump and landed exactly as if by magic right on the 1.618. Okay, so there's one example. Now recently we got this, so we got the downside, and it's the first two legs again. So let's go and do that. And there you go, the 1.618 gives us a top, barely any 1 hour closes above, and then it's coming back down. So we have another setup here. We've got this here. Now, going back to the previous setup here. Actually, it's here. I want to run the same. So we assume that prices are going to go down. And this latest leg so far has tested perfectly the 1-to-1 ratio. And you'll see my little dotted line down here, which is the is a kind of target, and you can see the 1.618 is at 93,337. So that is my kind of current target until this trend breaks, right? And we're on if you're on like a 4 hour, and I'm trading often on the 4 hour, we're on a downtrend currently. You can see we've been on a downtrend from here. So are we going to get a lower low? I hope we don't get a lower low here, or we are certainly going to probably see that USDT dominance close the daily above it, and therefore prices are going to break down further. But what I'm looking for in this, initially, certainly for a bounce, is 93,337. And until we get 4 hour closes above this last high here, then I am going to assume that prices are still trending down. Some of the indicators suggest that we're still trending down. When I go into 6 and 8 hour, that kind of thing, it looks to me like things are going to roll over here, or they're going to remain to the downside. Certainly, you got your stochastic rolling over on the 12 hour daily. I haven't checked, but yeah, it's got a chance to close up here depending on how price does. But you can see the 95.5k today is down with bearish divergence. Now that's coming back from off there, so you could argue it's played out, but and still, until these kind of really flip and price gets closing above these numbers, I'm going to assume that the shorter term is still pressure down, until proven otherwise. And like I said, that 4 hour close on this high here is it would be the idea that, okay, we're going a little bit higher here, and I'll be watching for rejection higher up. And one of the key things I have noticed as well with the fibs, but this on time on a retrace, is that Bitcoin seems to like to get to the 886, which is the last line in the sand, and then switch direction again. And so really it seems like far away, but I will not be really getting too bullish until we close back above 104,651, which is super annoying. Just this range, and I would certainly look to short this area, or even if I ran it from the last high, I think probably I will short again, and we're in this range until proven otherwise. Is what basically I'm saying to you, and just be cautious. Don't be getting too bullish just because the chat in the background is bullish. I think it will be bullish eventually. I don't think the cycle's over by a long mile. I mean, there's no top signals in place, but just recognise that price action can go sideways, it can go down, and still remain kind of longer term bullish. And so, that was my main point I wanted to get across today. And if you enjoyed it or you get anything from it, like it, subscribe, and leave us a comment. All right, cheers.